myself to the stream now. Hey, 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 here we are. And I bought this new webcam, and it's not the best video at the moment. I look blurred. I don't know if I am on the video, but there is an automatic focus, but I think it needs a bit more of the manual focus. There we go. That looks better, doesn't it? Anyway, you're not going to see my beautiful face all evening. It's going to be a presentation, providing this works properly. There was a lot of technical difficulties last night, so let me jump on to the iPad to see if this is actually working. It is indeed. Let me turn the sound down. There we go. Right, let's turn that down. So we have two people on, which is amazing, and I'll dive into it. I'll give people a little while to get on, and then we'll dive into it. So yesterday it was a mad rush because I did the live, and then we were going off to in the evening something called the walk. It's a Halloween type thing, and usually it's called Frightmare. But anyway, last night they do an amazing job of marketing it, and so we went on that. So I got off the live and we rushed over to that, but it was brilliant, you know. And they're always oversubscribed. That's the point. Hey Ben. Yeah, they are always oversubscribed, which is another sign of amazing branding and amazing marketing. So that's another thing that you need to think about. And I just wanted to let you know about last night anyway, because we rushed around. And today, again, I've got a house full. The dog might start barking in the background. My brother's here. Hey, John, if you're watching this. And yeah, the kids might start, but we've got a house full. And so we've just had dinner. I'm a bit full, but rushed around to try and get on the live. And then they've got football training later on. So it's all going off. We've got plenty going on. But anyway, drop me a hashtag live or a hashtag replay. Let me know what time zone you're on and where you're dialing in from. And then we'll dive in. So the piece that's missing, as I've said yesterday, if you saw the live yesterday, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. If you didn't, you can see the replay on my timeline on my profile. So go and check that out, because we went through the first three pieces of the jigsaw puzzle and this 7-step strategy. Your brand boss, the 3-day brand boss series. This is day 2, and a 7-step strategy for your brand. So if we skip all of the fluff, let's dive in. Yesterday, we talked about you as a person, as a personal brand. We talked about your company, your business as a brand also, because there's slight nuances there. And we talked about purpose. What's the purpose of you as an individual? What's the purpose of your business? So we spelled all that out yesterday. Today, we are going to dive into some more crunchy subjects, but I'm going to share my screen now. If this works, let me know, and I will share the screen. Here we go. Let me know that you can see the screen, and I'll put the presentation on. First thing I want to show you, there was some really great feedback for yesterday's live. And what they said, here are some of the bits of feedback. William, Value Bomb. Robert, great stuff, Martin Price. And Cole, very great, Martin. Cole again, powerful stuff. Brian there, loved the tagline, stand out from the crowd. Yeah. Nino, pure value. And Brad, powerful stuff. And Lawson there. Big shout outs to all you guys. I really appreciate you watching, and awesome. So some great feedback from yesterday's. If you didn't catch it, jump on and watch the replay. Here we go. I can't actually see my notes. So luckily for you, I've printed them off. And I'll be able to, not sure. Where is it? I'm sharing my screen. There we go. That's better. Let's make sure that works. Okay. We said we're going to dive into today's topics, and today's topics are going to be crunchy, going to be super important to you as a person, you as a brand, and your company also. Right. It's all about your image, your company image, and the positioning in comparison to others in your market, in your niche. And you as a person have an image, your business has an image, your company has an image, and where you're positioned is really key. And then step 5 are the products and services that you are offering. So you either solve a problem or a challenge for someone, and you give results to people's pain points and challenges. So that's the kind of stuff that we are talking about here. So image and position. How do you come across to other people? We talked about this yesterday with personal branding, because you as an individual may be at the forefront of your business. And so we need to know what your kind of image is. And we talked about when, whether you're scruffy, whether you're smart, whether you're intelligent, whether you are formal, that kind of thing. This is all to do with image of you as an individual. And what you also need to think about is how your company comes across and the image that your company portrays. And the perceptions, people need to take you seriously. If they don't, you might be jokey and laugh and all of that kind of stuff. But in business, people do want to also know that they can resonate with you on a business level. So find out where you fit and what your image is all about, and just stick to that. Don't try and be something that you're not. That is really key. The other thing is, if you walk into a room, do you command the room? You've all been to meetings probably, or you've seen people that walk into a room and they instantly command it, don't they? They're absolutely phenomenal at walking the room and lighting it up. And people want to talk to them. Is this you when you are online, when you're in a room or whatever? Do you light up the room and leave people delighted? We talked about that yesterday. It's the same online. Some people might want to avoid you just because of your image, your status, your position. It doesn't matter if they resonate with you or not. It's really critical that you make your best efforts to connect with the people that are your perfect customer. Okay, so some people will not like you just because it's you. You can't do anything about that, and I wouldn't waste any energy on worrying about that too. Your personality's got to shine through in the brand image. You've got to live and breathe it. And I went to a presentation a couple of years ago by a guy called Ron Dennis. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he was the McLaren Formula One boss, and he was absolutely incredible with that company. He was there as the owner initially, and then obviously a shareholder in that company, and a major shareholder, until he was forced out. But when he came and did the presentation, it was a business presentation, and he talked about the company ethos and the brand of McLaren. And he was basically saying, if you have worked for McLaren for probably 6 months, something like that, and they cut you and you don't bleed McLaren, then clearly you're not a great fit for the company. And that is really critical. You've got to live and breathe your brand and your company. Who do you respect? So look at other businesses and people that are doing similar stuff to you, because you should be able to model them and the successful stuff that they're doing. So it's not about copying. It's basically modeling the successful things that they're doing, and then you can step up your own game. If they're making certain offers that are really working with the audience, then model what they're doing and put your own slant on it and your own brand around that. Think of the emotions that you can evoke. We're going to talk about emotions in a little while, but we talked about it yesterday as well. Look at the emotions that you feel yourself when you think of a certain brand. It could be Ferrari, it could be Lamborghini. If it's cars, that's your thing. It could be holidays. Think of the emotions when you think of that sandy beach. Think of the emotions when you travel to a certain holiday destination. These are all the kind of things that you need to think about with your own brand to evoke those emotions. I'll just move this down again. So yeah, we're talking about evoking the emotions to build the hopes and dreams of your potential customer and what they see in you as a business, because the emotional part of the brain is way stronger than the logical part. We talked yesterday about not trying to bamboozle people with the functions of what your product or service is. They don't care about the functionality. What they actually care about is how their life is going to be better with what you're offering them. So evoke those emotions. The logical brain is way down the line. Initially, you need to appeal to the emotions. When you get someone that's irrationally passionate about you, about your products and about your services, then you're really going to make sales easy with your company. And this is all based around a strong brand at the outset. This is where it all starts. Yeah, okay, so you have to know your competition. This is obviously really simple to understand. If there's people doing what you do, unless you're a trailblazer, there are going to be others in your industry, in your market, in your niche, doing what you do. You have to research them. You have to know exactly what's working for them and what's not working for them. Otherwise, you're going blind. You're going into something and making offers to people where you don't actually know what's working for other people. So how are you going to know it works for you? You're going by trial and error. So it's much easier to put your own image on stuff and your own identity with your brand and understand what your competition does, put your brand around what it is, model what's working for them. We've already mentioned that. Okay, you're not the world's best. Let me just say, unless you are the world's best, then you're not the world's best. You're not market leader. You might be, but it depends what you're doing and how long you've been in business. It might be that you're in such a really small, narrow sub niche and you're the only person doing what you do, then that's working. But otherwise, do not use those words in your marketing campaigns, in your brand, because clearly that's a lot to live up to. And if you're not the world's best, then it ain't going to work. You know, yesterday I showed the top 50 list of the top 50 US companies rated by US consumers. And if you're not in that list, and if you're probably not in the top 1,000 list, then you're clearly not the world's best, or you're not a market leader. So make sure your language is not too strong and not overpromise stuff that you can't actually deliver on. So where do you fit? Who do you hang out with? And those people that are around you, somebody that you hang around with should uplift you and lift you up so that you are at the same level as them. This is positioning that we're talking about now, because clearly if you hang around with bums or people that aren't at your status level and your position in your business area, then you are clearly not hanging out with the right people. You want people to pull you along and drag you along and network. We've heard it's cliche, isn't it? But your network is your net worth. So hang out with people that will share ideas and share things that move you all on. And particularly around your brand, think about where you fit and your position with your brand. So in your marketing niche, you can actually charge a premium if you are the expert. And price isn't always about being cheap. So in your position, it might be your prices aren't the cheapest out there, but they're not the most expensive either. Work out where you fit, and so that you can price yourself correctly and make sure that you stand out with your brand and with a strong product or service. Make sure that you stand out. Being cheap, actually, we'll cover this on in future, but maybe not today. I think it's tomorrow. But we're going to talk about pricing. But just being the cheapest isn't an easy place to get over that. When you're starting at a low price, it's really difficult then to keep raising prices. So don't think that being the cheapest will make you sell more products. So the other thing is, don't try and be everything to everyone, because you can't cater for an enormous customer set like Adidas, like Microsoft, who we talked about yesterday and we touched on them. They have a massive customer base. Unless you have a massive corporation, you won't be able to cater for everybody. So don't try and do that, because it's too difficult, and you've got to work out who your perfect customers are. You only need 100 or 1,000 raving fans to make your business an absolute success. You don't need, well, back to the point about being the cheapest. If your product is one of the cheapest out there, then you have to shift a lot more products to make money, don't you? If you've got something that's at a reasonable price ticket item, then you're going to be able to push that out there and not have to have as many people buying what it is that you've got. So don't try and be everything to everyone. You will do a lot more work if you've got thousands and thousands of people buying your things. It's a lot more work than just a lot fewer, maybe 100 or 1,000. If it's something that you can handle 1,000 of in a certain period of time or whatever, then get that out there and market in that fashion. Right, so on to products and services. And let me know if you're watching this on the live, #live, or if it's on the replay, give me a #replay and let me know who you are, because I can't actually see on the screen who's watching, and I can see people are watching. Anyway, right, let's dive into your products and services. I'll just have a quick drink of water. Right, so you have a product and a service. How do you solve a problem? Clearly, people are looking for something if they come to you to solve a challenge for them. Your products and services have to delight them. They have to be something that is going to take away a pain point for them or give them something that they just don't have. How does your potential customer benefit from what you have? That's what you've got to work out to be able to make your brand stand out. So why would their life be easier and why would their life be better with your product or service in it? These are the things that you have to work out to move your brand along and move your products and services along. Why should they choose you? Okay, so what can you offer that's better than your competition also? We said earlier about researching the competition, looking into exactly what they are doing and what packages they offer, what's different to you. Why should these potential customers choose you and resonate with you? We talked about image earlier. Maybe your image is a nicer person to do business with than the competition, and that's a great personal branding position to be in. But if it was just on your logo, if it was just on the colors of your business and the premises that you have, if you've got a traditional bricks and mortar business, why would they choose you? You might be off the beaten track so that they can't easily get to your premises. So what makes you stand out? This is where brand comes into the fore. You really have to offer something that beats your competition hands down. Is your brand strong enough and it stands out massively so that they choose you over your competition? I mentioned this earlier as well. Don't baffle them with functionality of what you offer, and don't baffle them with, how it's going to do this, how it's going to do that. It's the fastest this processor, if it's a laptop, for example, and this amount of memory and all of that techno babble. People aren't interested. What they want to know about is how it's going to enhance their life, how it's going to make their lives better. We talked about evoking emotions, didn't we? So do you have a strong story behind your brand to really resonate with people and make sure that your product stands out in their mind and the emotions that your product can evoke with them? You need to have enough stories around the products that you've got. And I always tell an Ironman story as part of my background with my brand, because it makes a lot of sense when I'm talking to certain people, because Ironman is a massive brand, obviously, but I've got some really good stories around that. How I bought a secondhand bike, and there's people on the course there. My bike it wasn't cheap, but it was maybe, I don't know, 500, £1,000 in total, secondhand. But there's people on the course there in the Ironman that were doing the first ever Ironman on a bike that was £10,000 or £15,000, so $20,000, and I picked them off. And these are the kind of stories that you need to evoke when you talk to your potential audiences about your products and services. So anyway, that was a little bit of an aside. I digress slightly, but these are the kind of stories where you have to evoke those emotions in your audience. So what's next? Focus on the benefits and the advantages that your products and services have, as we said. So my first IT freelancing contract, I just want to go into this because I met with, I'd done a 20-year career, and I didn't want to leave that. But anyway, circumstances, I had to leave that and move to a different part of the country. And I met the MD of this big corporation for my first ever freelance contract role. And I have to say that my CV was not the strongest, and he told me this afterwards, but my CV really wasn't the strongest, but he resonated with me. I told him some stories about my experiences in my career, what I'd done, the background of what I'd done, and he resonated with me as a person. That was me and my personal brand in my IT consultancy and how I got that contract. And I've had many, many good contracts since. So these are the kind of things that you have to focus on. Focus on the benefits and advantages. With the MD of that corporation, what I had to do was sell him on why I was the right person to solve the pain points in his organization. I was going into a program and project manager role. And so what we were doing was standing up a project management office, and I needed to show him the benefits of what the outcomes of that would be. So these are the things that you need to focus on. Talk about compelling benefits actually, and the results that you are going to get them. So with your potential customers, they want to know what's in it for them and what are they going to benefit with it. So if someone wants to diet, you shouldn't focus on the weight loss side of things, focus on the health side of things, because the negative connotation is, you're fat, you need to lose weight. That's not a great position. But if you are saying to people, if you want to be healthy, try these products and try this exercise regime. If that's your niche and market, health and fitness, then come across in that way and talk about the compelling benefits that you are going to get. There's maybe a story around how if one of your customers had high blood pressure, and because of your products, they've reduced that now to a manageable level and they're so much fitter. They did lose weight and this is how they look now. These are the kind of things that you need to focus on when you're talking about that. Right, so what words do you want to be known for with your business? So your image, as we've already talked about, your personal image, your company image, your business's image. These are the things you need to think about. What is your image? Now, sometimes in your products, the image might be, it's luxury, it's expensive, or it could be that you're cheap. We talked about cheap. You might be synonymous and known for the quality that you deliver. You might be known for being a reliable person. You might be green, not you as in naive. It might be that your business or your company or what you've got is very environmentally friendly. So that's what you're known for. Could be your honesty and integrity. Those are I mentioned those last night for my own businesses. It's about that honesty, ethics, and authenticity and integrity that I work with all of my businesses. And it could be that you're smart, a trailblazer, all of those kind of things, but think about the words that you want to be known for yourself personally, and then the images also. What's the style? Think about the style of how you come across. If someone comes across you as an individual, your personal brand, or your products and services, what's the style? Is it going to be technical? Is it something they're going to have to learn technical things about? Or is it fashionable? Is it the latest trend that you're hopping on with your company? Is it trendy? Is it traditional and old-fashioned? Is it modern, technical, as we've already mentioned previously, easy to use, or evergreen? Is it something that constantly changes? I'm talking about branding here, and your brand has to adapt and move with the times, move with the changes. So these are the kind of things that you need to think about also with your personal brand, your company brand, and the products that you have to offer. Again, we've talked, what you need to do is talk to them in pictures and use images in your stories. Explain things with visual representations, so that will really resonate with them. If you've got a health supplement, for example, and they need to taste it, then you might need to sell them a sample or send them a sample, so that they can taste what you have. And if that's the way that they work, then that's how you have to appeal to them. And if you've got a health product that you need to send out to them, they might, like a beauty cream or whatever, they might need to smell and touch that. So think about the VACOG acronym there: visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory, and gustatory. That's your 5 senses. And when you're in conversations with people, and when you're pushing your products and services out there, and your brand, actually, think about how you come across to other people's senses. Right, okay, so don't make false promises. There's a lot of people out there that sell something without guarantees. If you are comfortable and confident in what you have to offer, then clearly you have to offer a guarantee, and a money-back guarantee, I'd suggest. If you're trying to, if you're really confident in what you've got, then you will be comfortable in giving that guarantee. So there are people out there, we do deal with a lot of freebie seekers, don't we, that are just looking for nothing. People that possibly buy what you have and then hack it and reverse engineer it and do their own thing with that. And likewise, we're doing that to a certain extent when we're modeling other people's stuff. But think about all of those tire kickers. They'll automatically want a refund, or they'll automatically diss what you have and put it down, because that's the kind of people they are. So what you've got to do is just give them the money back. It's not worth the fight. Your reputation is everything. So make sure that you just get rid of those customers. They're not your ideal customers, and give them the money back and get out. So that's simply your products and services. Okay. We're running on now, and next up tomorrow, 7 p.m. is part 3, where we're going to dive even deeper into the 7 steps of the strategy. We're going to talk marketing, because clearly your brand is really key and really important when you talk about marketing. And we're going to talk more about pricing and monetization, because that is also really important. These make up the 7 steps in this strategy and in this blueprint. So have a think about what we've gone through tonight. Watch the replay. If you are on the replay, then great. Give me some thumbs up and some love. And if you haven't watched part 1, go back and watch part 1, because that goes through the first 3 steps. Watch this one again, and then tomorrow we're going to dive even deeper into the marketing side of your brand and then pricing with your brand. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch up with you all tomorrow.